pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we'll go to the prayer. Pastor Charles Hall will do the prayer for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If we could bow our heads. Lord, we thank you very much for bringing all these people here. We appreciate the time and effort, both those who are served and those who are here to help those who are serving. As Paul told us, Lord, we are to submit to the authority. Let everybody here, Lord, remember to come together in a sense of unity. Let the council be guided by the principle of doing better by the village. And Lord, we ask all these things in the name of your loving Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Roll call.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
Okay, does everybody have a chance to look over the minutes? Is there any discussion, or we need approval of the minutes?
I'll make the motion for the minutes.
I'll second.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Steve?
Sustained.
Okay, discussion and approval of the finance report. That's done.
Okay. Angela gave me the payment listings and number of checks written. January was $46,396.41. And the bank reconciliation amount is $1,597,817.43.
Anybody got any questions? Not when they approval of the finance report?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Huh?
I'll make the second.
Okay.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
So I'll make the second.
Okay, we don't have any special guests. Before we get started on public comment, we have the podium up here. Whoever's addressed the council will come up here, state their name and address, and they'll have 5 minutes to talk. And then after everybody's done talking, there'll be no discussion among yourselves back here. We need to be quiet because we got some things misinterpreted last meeting because of the people talking among themselves back there, so there'll be none of that. You'll have to sit and listen, and that'll be it, so. Okay, public comment. Anybody out there?
Name's Dan Frazier, live at 106 Dill Street. I got a couple questions about the mayor's court. Number one is, when was that voted in? Number two, the person that is the magistrate, does she have any training?
She is a judge, retired judge from, Judge McDermott from Bowling Green.
He's a magistrate in Bowling Green.
So we use him here?
Yes.
Okay. Do we ever, when an officer writes a ticket, speeding tickets, do we change that down to a parking violation or anything?
Yes, I do. That's my call.
That's your call?
That's my call.
I read into the mayor's court, there's 94 pages, between 94 pages to 100 pages. It says you can't do that.
I can do it. It's within my prerogative.
Sure enough.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and I'm gonna, when she comes up for her thing with council, I'm gonna help her
anything?
Tammy Wonkaman, 217 State Street. I noticed, personnel did not have the proper safety gear on. So I'm bringing it to your guys' attention, just so you know.
I got another question.
Sure.
Do we have a drug and alcohol policy here in the city for the workers, volunteers, anything?
They can be tested for drugs and that certainly.
No, I'm just asking if we have a policy. Anything for that?
I don't remember if we have one in the policy book or not.
Nothing formal that I can remember. No formal policy yet.
Now, does John have to have, do you have to have a CDL?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Don't have a vehicle that requires one.
Okay, I'm just asking. Okay. How about the firemen? I mean,
We're exempt.
are you? Okay, that's all.
Okay. Jump,
This is the first time I've gotten to address most of the people here at the council.
would you state your name?
I'm sorry, I apologize. Charles Hall. I'm at 7974 4th Street, Old Fort, Ohio. I apologize. I'm not from Bettsville. Let me just say that right up front. I always apologize that I'm not from Bettsville. I want to thank the council. I mean, I know I'm going to take up valuable time tonight. I promise it'll be less than 5 minutes, but some I have spoke, you know, I know some people here, some I have not had the pleasure of meeting. I wanted to come and thank you for multiple things, but first of all, bringing the prayer. Thank you very much. I have to do that. And from last summer, when you guys let us, and when I say we, Reflection Ministry, use the park, the support the village has given us, John, the work that you did at the our very first prayer walk, I appreciate the support that the council has given us, the insight on some of the things that we have done, and really, the sense that I get from the community. We didn't come here to redefine everything, because you folks have been here a lifetime. And we really wanted to integrate ourselves into the community, be part of the community for something even greater than maybe, I won't get started on a sermon, but, Gary, on a personal level, again, the support. But, I mean, there has been zero feedback in a negative way from the council, anything that we've done, and all we've ever received is, how can we help it? And I can tell you from being a part of a denomination that has 450 churches literally worldwide, that's not what you get in every community. And I know it's challenging sometimes to run the village's business, and I know, and believe me, we are at no way are we done asking for favors of the council and the village administration, nor will we be too ashamed to ask in the future. But I just wanted to make sure, this is my first time here, that, you know, you finally put a name, you put a face with a name. But I do want to say thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Could you get some?
What church are you with?
The Reflection Ministries, I'm sorry.
Anybody else? Okay, if not, finance budget audit, Scott?
Well, Andrew will give you the structure of a revenue status, you know, for this coming year, and also appropriation status. We have all the documentation started for the year, so I'll get into it and see how it goes, and see how the revenue matches what our estimate is, I guess.
Mhm.
And appropriation, yeah, that's all structured as well, so I think we're good right now.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? Scott? If not, police, Brandon?
Nothing to report this time.
Okay. Fire, Mike?
That's you.
That's me. Do I gotta stick my name and everything too?
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mike Snell. You wanna use my home address or this
Yeah,
address?
that's fine.
Okay. Here's this for Gary. This is just a list of all the firemen.
For the officers and stuff, Warren, I kinda showed you that.
Okay.
Here's the, you take one and pass that around, that's my fire report. And I'll give this to Gary, this is for the Jaws, I've got the, this can go to Angela, I guess, this is the PO, purchase order,
Okay.
signed by all 4 officers, and then here's the invoice for it, and then just a little bit of literature here you can look at and see, so you guys know what we're exactly buying.
So when did you say, Mike, and when did you say?
Actually, there's, if you look at that on there, it says the Jaws is gonna be 8 to 6 weeks. However, I got a phone call, today, the Jaws will be here Monday at 4 o'clock.
Monday at 4?
Yep.
Well,
So, everything came in early. It's actually, I already ordered the Jaws back in what, January or something, wasn't it? I think it was. When I was told that we were approved to order, so.
Right.
Yeah, at that meeting, yep,
Right.
yep, so whatever that was. And then, so they've been approved or already ordered, so they'll be here Monday at around 4 o'clock.
okay, did you save a copy of that for you? Would you just
Yeah,
state it
yeah.
for the record, would you,
Yeah, I can. Yep.
state it for you?
You want me to read all these runs, do you?
Yeah, that's how much you guys did.
No, just
That's
your
how many
runs and.
bags.
Yeah, we had 16 runs for the month. The new set of Jaws will be here, like I said, they'll be here Monday. We changed the officers, he's got a list of them there, but, I guess we'll,
You can go ahead and.
okay. The new officer I'm taking over is the chief. The assistant chief will be Craig Case. Mike Clace will be my first captain, Alan Marney will be my second captain. And then I got, Dave Smalling, AJ Wise will be lieutenants. And then, we also, in the near future, here real soon, we're gonna be burning, 13 buildings for farmers, that's Scoot County. I think Jim already filled you guys in kind of on some of that. So,
Okay.
So when do you think you get the guys trained to use the Jaws? I mean, is that something?
he's gonna bring them and demo them to the guys that will be here that night and just kind of show us how to run them. Actually, what's nice, the unit we did buy is the same stuff we already have, it's just a newer version of what we've got.
So you're familiar with it?
So, yeah, yep, and everything's pretty close to the same from what he explained to me today, so it should be no issue. And then as soon as I would get everybody trained, it would put them in service.
And didn't you say, Mike, that the parts are interchangeable from
Yeah,
the old Jaws to the
Yep.
new Jaws? So
yeah,
that we have more
you can use the same fittings,
cutters and stuff for
you just gotta,
A couple different options.
yep, you just can't hook the hoses together, we found out today. But you can hook the hoses to each unit, you just can't hook the 2 ends together. So, which is standard, so.
Okay, anybody got any questions for Mike right now?
It's probably ought to make for a statement that James retired.
Well,
basically.
yeah, I will.
Okay.
Um,
Then what's going on?
Yeah, we do have a resignation letter from Jim. Says, please let, does anybody have any questions for Mike anymore? If not, you can
Thanks,
sit
Mike.
down. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Yep.
Says, dear Mayor Harrison, please let this letter serve as my resignation as fire chief of the Bettsville Volunteer Fire Department effective February 1st, 2016. This decision was not an easy for me, but I have decided to retire from the fire service after nearly 27 years. It has been a great opportunity and my pleasure serving in the fire department for the nearly 15 years and as chief for the past 12. In my time with the department, I have met many wonderful people and felt as though I was doing my best to support the community. I have already discussed my intentions with the rest of the officers. I will cherish my time with the department and will look upon the mementos I have accumulated with pride. If you need to discuss this with me any further, or you need more details, please feel free to call me. You've got a number here. I would be more than happy to answer any questions or provide any information that would make this process easier. Sincerely, James McCluskey. Okay?
We just got,
And I can pass this around.
just gotta make sure we give that invoices with that paper I gave Gary, the PO and the invoice
Give it to Angela.
to Angela, so she's
But if
got it.
anybody wants to look at what we got.
Angela, I just need a copy of the
I don't wanna lose it now.
We want a copy of the PO.
Yeah, if you would, whatever,
So we don't lose
just
it
to
now.
put with our file
Make it
for our
a copy
stuff,
of the PO. What was the price on
you know what I mean?
that?
Just so I have.
Remember
it.
what the
That's
price
fine.
was?
What was it?
25,000.
you need is a copy to appeal.
Yeah, that's fine. That way I know where it's, just for, I guess it doesn't matter. Talk to her about it.
Questions? Clean up, Joyce?
I sent out a
No,
letter
no, no,
today,
no.
and, I'll know in about a week if they did anything about it, okay?
Okay. Everybody hear that?
No, I didn't hear that one.
So it's getting warmer, so be careful, I won't be tromping around looking.
She sent out 2 letters this week. Water, sewer, street, John?
John Bruns. Okay, sewer, nothing, street, just been maintenance and equipment, rebuilt some pumps and whatnot. Water, obviously, we had a main break over by the school, hopefully it'll dry out enough to get some stone back in there, but, other than that, I really don't have anything. Got to play with the new sauce.
Actually, can I have now the snow this year?
Put it away now.
After the school, and you've
Yeah.
been working on that,
No, we had a main break by the school.
and it's repaired.
Oh, that now.
Okay.
Had all the right toys to get it done, so it's still one night though.
It lit up like a football
Yeah,
stadium.
it was.
I wanted to ask about the sidewalks that were ripped up by the trees that were taken down out of the boulevards, which are our trees, right? Are we gonna be responsible for
That's up to you guys.
the ones,
Yeah.
you know, in front of their houses? Cause there are some that are pretty bad. So, I think we should address, that's pretty good.
So that's something we need to get on the table and try to
Yeah.
figure out,
Yeah.
fund that, because it's gonna cost some money to do it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
figure out what's gonna do it, so, and then we're gonna have to contact, everyone we have, John, so we
Mm.
can contact.
Anything else, John?
Okay.
Anybody got any questions, John?
I do. As far as equipment storage,
Yes.
you know, starting to gain on things, do you have places for everything as far as, you know, would some type of pole structure be worth looking into?
Right now, I mean, we've got there's a maintenance building back by the wells that has
Okay.
nothing in it, I put stuff in there. And the wastewater plant, we've got a pole barn out there, and the only thing in there is a bucket truck, so in the winter, I put summer stuff in
Overnight.
there, and in the summer, the plows and everything in there, so.
Okay,
So it's okay for right now.
I mean, it's tight in the shop once you get all the winter stuff, cause there's way more winter stuff than there is summer stuff, but, it's gotta be heated, so.
right.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Okay, not a lot to report on. I did meet with David Zach, which is head of the site active Tiffin. Stan got me hooked up with him and that, and, we met Monday at 10 o'clock in here. And he asked some questions and so forth, and he's gonna look for some grants for us for the park, to see if there's anything available. He didn't think so, that there was anything available for us to pay payroll and stuff with, but he's gonna look and see and get back with me and that way. And he was gonna look for some grants too and that for downtown and that, to see if there's anything we can do with that. And while we was out, Scott and I went to the township, Liberty Township meeting last night and was discussing annexation of that, we told them basic wanted to annex that property into the village. And then we would move we'd annex the village, park into the village limits. And, it went real smooth. There's just a couple things that we have to do, like make sure they have easements, so that in case they have to move the ditch back, they can move the ditch back, but that's pretty much anything.
Yeah, they're pretty open.
They was open and they said they wouldn't have no problem with it, so we're gonna get it done. Rick will get with Basic and we'll do what we have to do to get everything annexed in.
Because right now, all the properties deeded correctly, I mean, the sidewalk is already in the township's name, so there's no really issues other than we just gotta move forward, you know, with basic, then we'll work on the annex part of it, and that, but if you ever open it, then you just wanna basically an easement, like Gary said, for the ditch, from, they have an easement already up to the park gates, but the park gates to like our old house
Okay.
down there, so just so if we have to do some ditch, we can deal with that if it's a wide road or anything in the future.
You know, 'cause all the, like sidewalk or path that's out there, they own that now. So they could, where that part is, if they had to move up ditch that way, wouldn't have no problem, they don't have to ask nobody. But on the other side of the gate, as you went towards where Joyce used to live and so forth, that is all, that we just need to give them an easement, so in case they have to move that back, they can move it back.
And
But other than that, there'd be no problem.
probably the other thing we can discuss is probably, once we, since we're not gonna have any swimming laws, we gotta really talk about how we secure it, make sure we get the fence correctly, and got it posted right, so we are legally protected. Cause I mean, basically right now, on towards where the old basic was, I mean, we still have access to the pond and all that stuff, so I don't know if we have to do any of those things, so that's something we probably need to at least find out about. If we're gonna have some costs to deal with those issues.
Well, I'm hoping that we can at least have most of it mowed and, because we already got calls on shelter houses and they asked if we said no. So they're still apt to come out and use the shelter houses and stuff.
I would like to ask one question, okay?
Okay.
All right, does Bettsville, do we own the
We
park?
own the park, yes.
All right, there's a
I know
mistaken
on
notion
Facebook,
out there, it
yeah.
says that we have a 99-year lease and we pay $1 a year, and I don't know where that came from, you know,
Well,
but they keep spitting it out.
when the park was first done, that was true, they leased it $1 a year to us. But when they left, we have the deed for the park and we do own the park.
Okay.
So the people that posted it on Facebook did not know what they was talking about,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
So, Matt,
Mhm.
so, there's an additional area that, the township needs an easement on, so we'll need a surveyor for that. So if we could have a motion to be able to hire a surveyor in order to delineate the property, for an easement, we can get to work on that right now. On
Okay.
that part of it, we can do a number of things at once.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. It needs to get done.
And I guess Scott and Gary, you guys know what area that
Yeah.
they're looking at.
Yeah, we can take care of
Okay, Joyce,
Yeah,
Scott,
Yes.
Stan,
I must have missed what are we voting on?
it. To
No,
give
hire a
a
surveyor.
surveyor
Surveyor.
to do-
Easement.
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, this property is the Vesuvius property? Is
That we're
what
gonna
it's
annex?
really known as? I mean,
No, it's actually
to
known as
identify-
Basic, Basic owns it yet.
The basic owns the property.
But they're not called Basic anymore, but,
No, they're
In
still
that
called, there
company?
still is a Basic,
Yeah.
they're not around here, that they still own the stuff here.
okay.
That's still an entity.
But Vesuvius is in the building.
Okay.
I haven't heard anyone ask yet, but I'll ask, because I plan on, or hope to do some fishing. What's the situation on, if anyone wants to fish in the quarry out there, what do they have to do, or, other than have a fishing license, but I mean, do they have to have permission from the village, or not, or have we ever decided that?
I don't think we really have decided that.
I don't think we've decided, but I don't see a problem with
Yeah.
doing it.
do they have to be at the other end?
Yeah,
The north end.
Yeah, the north end,
Right.
yeah.
I just think we just gotta figure out how we legally, protect ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta ask those
And go
questions.
ahead.
I was gonna say, I would wanna talk to our insurance company about what personnel were necessary,
Right.
because of the incident that occurred at the quarry especially, in order to allow the fishing.
Yeah, my concern as well.
Okay.
So we're gonna have somebody talk to Joel then, is that what we're
Yeah.
gonna do? Oh, Joel, and then we just find out what his position is on it, so we can at least make a determination how we're gonna handle that, because it's gonna become an issue, I'm sure.
Well, the thing of it is, if you're gonna close off the park end, you know, from swimming and stuff, they might just go at the other end and jump in, you know, what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you, probably, yeah.
So,
I mean, all we can do is post it.
That's why we carry liability insurance.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what we gotta, if it's posted,
You know, we'll get with Joe and see how we handle all that stuff, just to protect the estimate, so wherever it's out and open, so we
I think this end of the quarry's still owned by Basin.
no, we
No.
don't pour all the water.
the water part, we own. So I'm not, we probably own some
Well,
of the
I'm
land,
up to the one.
yeah, probably up to where the driveway is, right, or something, I imagine where the driveway is, we have to figure that out.
The survey will address that, really.
Well, I guess,
The survey is only for the easement.
so we probably, we should have a property description, probably have a look at that and see kind of what the boundary is, or somewhere, a legal description of the property we got for the park, right, somewhere, that we can get access to.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a deed, so,
Yeah.
but the survey is, the easement will
Yes,
be
yeah,
different,
yeah.
and so they'll be saying, okay,
Right.
from the big rock or the meets and bounds
Right.
to the other.
So we look at the deed, makes it deed, see there was a survey with the deed, which probably was originally somewhere. So we have to look, see if there is a survey attached to it, so we can find out.
That's part of what the surveyor will do. I think
Yeah.
they'll pretty much wanna know how far in do you want, should the
Right.
easement be, to make sure
We'll
it's,
just make it the
Liberty
same
is
as,
happy with
yeah,
the
with the
amount.
same amount of where they got over
Right
the
now.
sidewalk type thing,
Yeah.
and we'll make it the same amount that in, so that, in case
That was
they get.
is Liberty gonna talk to, the county
Yes,
prosecutor's
Yes.
office? Good.
yeah, they don't protect tenants, and then we can
We
negotiate.
get our stuff.
Cause I warned Rhonda that
Yeah.
they were probably gonna have a discussion
Right,
a week or so ago.
Yeah. So,
so, yeah, he's gonna talk to him, okay, take care of that, so.
okay, zoning, Scott?
It's all quiet, nobody's yelling at me, so life's good.
Okay. Okay.
oh, I need to bring up on this FEMA stuff.
Uh-huh.
We can't find, you know, the piece of paper where it said all the stuff I can cite them, except for tall weeds, junk cars, and, you know, just plain garbage. I mean, we used to have a whole list with ordinances a long time ago.
That's in Highland Vice Code, okay.
Can I go through there and just make up a paper then,
Yeah.
and just send out?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's just a minute section.
okay,
Matter of fact, afterwards, no, I think that-
okay, I'll look it up, yeah.
Okay. Go to old business, the third reading, ordinance 2015-14, public records policy. Do you have that down there with you? Angela?
Yep.
You wanna read just the headline?
As public records policy of the Village of Betsville, access to information concerning the conduct of the people's business is right of every person in the state. Records of the Village of Betsville, which are not exempt from disclosure under law, are available for inspection and copy in accordance with the Ohio Public Records Act.
Okay. It's got 30 days. 30 days afterwards, it'll be in effect. And we did talk about the annex for the basics, so that's over with.
I just need a motion to adopt as presented by.
I make a motion to adopt.
Second,
I will.
Scott,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah,
Bill,
Yes.
Stan.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna make a quick statement on the mayor's association dues. I wanna make a correction to that, the way it was in the paper. It is not $700 for this, to join the association, it's $100. So, just wanted to make that clear, that somebody don't think I'm trying to spend $700 to go through. Yeah, I should be able to go in quite a place, huh? So, speak on that. Okay, the next will go, let's say you wanna come up here, you have to come up here to that podium for your appeal.
Can I state my name and all
Yes.
that good stuff? Just my name?
Yes, your name's name.
Melissa Brochus. Work on the PD. The reason that I am here today is because I am appealing the decision that was made by the chief, Brandon. I had my meeting with Brandon, and then I was supposed to have a meeting with Gary. Had the meeting with Gary, but when I got there, Gary gave me this letter that said, "When I reviewed your appeal regarding the alleged violation of Betsville Police Policy, section 3.1. I met with Chief Bell and reviewed all documentation as it applies to this investigation. Based on our conversation, my meeting with the chief and the documentation presented, I find significant evidence to uphold the decision, the deduction of rank as imposed by Chief Bell on October 20th. Well, here's the thing. I did not give Gary anything for my appeal. I don't believe that things were followed correctly, as according to the ORC 7037.19. You guys are supposed to lead by example. I was alleged of not following the rules, but yet everything after that was not followed properly and correctly. In Gary's letter, it says he reviewed my appeal regarding the alleged violation, but I did not get my chance to give everything that I had to Gary. And this was like a 10-minute meeting, and I didn't get to say my side, and my hearing was not a hearing. I did not get to do what I was supposed to have done, in this hearing, so.
Melissa, I think, so we're hearing you today as part of
Yes.
that? Okay,
Yes.
so here we are.
Today, but it didn't follow the procedure as stated in the ORC and through the policy.
Okay, we're trying to do that now.
So, I was accused of going out of the chain of command, which I don't feel that I did. I did not, the words did not come out of my mouth, "Joyce, will you please take this to council?" Joyce and I are friends. I discuss a lot of things with Joyce. I was upset with Brandon's decision, and in talking with Joyce, I told her, I explained to her what had happened. I also gave her the paper that my timesheet was on and that Brandon had written that it was not pre-approved. That was by no means my decision to go to her and say, "Hey, this is exactly what I want you to do." Joyce, being the person that she is, brought it to council, and then apparently you guys decided, without hearing anything that I had to say, that you were gonna stick to what Brandon had decided for my write-up. This is a write-up that is on my record forever. I've never been written up for anything, anytime ever before. So, it's hard to have this and then to take a demotion for it. So, if you're gonna follow protocol, it needs to be followed all the way down the line, and it don't just stop because you feel that's what it's gonna, so, I just don't feel that I went out of that chain of command.
Melissa, can you clarify more, presenting what you want Gary to know in council? And can you go into that in more depth, please?
What do you want?
I
To rectify this.
I just, it's not a matter of, I'm only here a couple days a month anymore. It's just, if you're gonna take it away from me, take it away from me, but I don't want that on my record. It's gonna stick with me, so if I go somewhere else for a job, when they come back, they're gonna look at that. They're gonna look at my file. Why is it that all the bad stuff is in the file, but none of the good stuff is? So when they look at this, the bad things are always the first things that they look at. So I guess I'm just asking that, I will take the demotion if I can get this off the record. I just don't want the write-up, I don't want the negativity, I don't want it in there. I don't feel that I broke that chain of command, and that's my opinion. Everybody has theirs, and you're entitled to it, and mine is, I don't feel that I went out of the chain of command to break that chain of command.
My question is for her, is Brandon,
Here, whoa. Okay, you done, Melissa?
I'm speaking for her.
I know you said you were, are you done talking now, or,
I'm finished.
okay, go ahead.
All right. My thing with this, under labor, states, a few things that's not been followed here. She's never been written up before, right, Brandon?
That's my understanding.
Okay, I think the penalty for this is awful harsh for what, she went for training to benefit her job. Come on. Give her a demotion for that, I think personally it's uncalled for.
So you're getting demotion for that, you just went out of.
How'd she go out of chain of command? Chain of command state, there's
No.
a few things in labor states what chain of command is. I think
It would
somebody
be
got
helpful,
your-
I think, if you would point out in the ORC what you're saying is in there. I could be wrong, I'll be the first to say it, I could be wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong, that's my position. I'm only one of 6 of us here, but I've yet to hear or see anything in writing, ORC, that you say is there. My understanding in reading some of the ORC, maybe not enough, or the right things, but I feel the protocol has been followed from day one. So show me in the ORC
If you
where I'm
wanna-
wrong.
If you wanna see, feel that this here has been followed, my question is, who voted on this? Did you guys have a vote to go with
Doesn't
Brandon?
it say in here or anywhere else that the council gets
Wait a minute.
involved? Brandon handles it and it's appealed to the mayor.
Then
I
how
didn't
did-
see anything where
How did he
the,
get the information before she had the right to present it? She's not getting fair due process here.
I think
There's,
you're,
no, I'm not wrong.
well, show me.
I will.
Show me the process. I haven't seen it yet. I'm trying to read this quick, but I ain't seeing what you're saying is out there somewhere.
Well,
Show me.
he'll know it.
No, you don't, you should present it and show it to us.
I
It's
don't
not
have-
his job.
It's in there,
Okay.
it states that I have the hearing with the chief. If I don't like that decision, I have a hearing with the mayor.
Right.
If I don't,
Which is what we're actually trying to do today.
correct,
But
So,
you made a
and-
decision
and-
before that.
yes, the
No.
decision.
No, oh, yes, you did.
I
She's
did?
got it here. No, no, I'm
Oh,
saying
so-
he did.
Okay, wait. Melissa, I want you to stop and take a breath for a second, okay? And if I can. Melissa, would you wanna take 5 minutes so we can just hear from the chief with full right to come on back for a moment?
I mean, you just don't have to leave the room or nothing.
No, but if you wanna take a 5-minute break,
That's
and
fine.
we can get sort of a preliminary feeling for what's going on, okay? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right.
Okay, do you have some specific questions, references?
No, I guess what we wanna hear from your side.
Okay, I believe it was September 1st, was a council meeting that this decision was made to go ahead and pay her, and that was based on the conversation that she had with Joyce. It was my understanding that based on that conversation, whether it be, I guess, expressed that she wanted Joyce to come to council, it was my understanding that that's kind of what would be taken as from that, I guess what I would call a complaint session. I would assume a prudent person would believe that if they come to a council member and complain about something that they don't feel is right, a prudent person would believe that that person then is going to take it to the next step, which I took as out of chain of command. If she had a problem with my decision, that should have been brought to you, and you only, as the mayor, based on the policy of, my department policy, which is 30.1 and 30.2, it says right in here, the chain of command, the lines of authority are the police chief is accountable to the mayor and the mayor only. We did have a discussion, the next council meeting, I believe in October,
in reference to this situation, in a closed session. And, obviously, we can't talk about that, but, at that time, the decision was made that I would make the final decision, and then if there were any appeals, I would go through the mayor, as my policy states. And that's what has taken place, as far as I was concerned, and now Melissa doesn't feel that that took place, and that is her right, and I understand that she may have felt that she did not get due process, and that's her right to come up here and to try to do that, and I have no problem with that at all. But if you guys have any specific questions for me, as to what was discussed with me and Melissa, or myself and Gary, by all means.
The only thing that I had said was, I mean, for how many, I've been on council a long time, you know, and we have always, anytime, any police officer, anybody in the police department that wanted to go to any school or anything, we never questioned it. We just automatically said they could go, and we paid for it, you know. And I did not know till after you told me, you know, that you were the completely man in charge, you know, that, but I was not aware of this going on, you know.
And
So, I mean,
we had a good conversation about
that's
that.
right, I agree there, but like I said, at the time, you know, we had agreed, you know, that we had always done it this way, and then since you set us straight, we have changed our policy,
Right.
you know.
It's always been my policy since I've got here, and it's been the policy of every department I've ever worked at, that training is paramount. I've always encouraged the officers to go to training, but anything to do with money, there has to be a checks and balances, and that checks and balances is, an officer were to say, hey, I'd like to go to this training, they would apply for it, I would look into it, make sure first it benefits the village, it benefits that officer, and that it's not, a financial burden to the village. And that's what I feel was not, afforded to me by Melissa when she went to the training and then turned in the pay for it. The proper way to handle that, of course, is, hey, can I go to this? I would look into it, approve it first. Anything to do with money needs to be approved, and that's where, I think is a concerning part for me, and that's why I've taken such drastic steps, is because anything to do with money, is what gets people in trouble. So that's why I made that decision, and I've talked to other, police chiefs and other people in the private field who said, if this was done at their place, this person would have been fired. That was a little too drastic for me, so that's why I made this decision, and, I plan to stick by it. Again, it's not that we're not going to let officers go to training, but it is gonna be handled the correct way. And that may be a fault of the council, that may be a fault of the mayor, and it may be a fault of the prior administration, that officer was not per se clear on what that chain of command was or how things were gonna be handled, but, the fact that she didn't know that doesn't negate the fact of what happened. It's her responsibility to know that she did get a copy of the policy, and she did say that she received a copy of that policy. Whether they read it and understood it, I can't, make them understand it. If they have questions, they can always come to me and ask. And it wasn't handled that way, and that's why we are here. You guys have any other specific questions?
May I ask one?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
How do you feel about Melissa's proposed resolution, given the totality?
I guess I don't understand the proposed resolution as stated.
I think and please correct me if I'm wrong, but she said, listen, I'll accept the motion and whatnot, but please could I not have it right up on my record, right first of all. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I will say, that I've looked through Melissa's file, prior to me getting here, and her prior evaluation is good. I have no qualms about that. And my, evaluation I did from July to December, she got a commendable. So I don't per se have a problem with that. I just want everyone, and I think a lot of the problem was council and me were not on the same page, and myself and Melissa were not on the same page, and Melissa and the mayor were not on the same page. So the totality of circumstances kind of created a big snowball effect. I don't per se have a problem with that. My big thing was, if you don't understand chain of command, you maybe don't have any place in it but the bottom of chain of command, until maybe you learn that. And there's nothing to say that she cannot earn her way back up there, because everything she's done since the time I've got here has been very helpful. And this is the only instance that I've ever had, but unfortunately it's a very serious incident to me. That's why it is the way it is. I'd have to think about it.
But I think we're kind of here today, and I know the mayor will want to make some sort of decision, preferably That's why I'm bringing it up for the mayor's.
Well, I don't have to make the decision
You
like
don't,
tonight.
you don't.
I mean,
We can let it fester.
I'll tell you what, I don't have a problem with that, based on the fact that, I hope she does stay here. Again, she's been very helpful, but I don't want to limit them, from going on somewhere else if they want to. And I know that it can be a negative if there is such a write-up in their file. These write-ups are only held for a period of time. It's consistent with my policy, so they would be out of there at some point. But I understand her concern, and, I guess the ultimate goal is for us to be on the same page, myself and Liz to be on the same page, and to be a cohesive unit. And if this helps that, by getting rid of the write-up, but still getting to the end result, and kind of building these things back up, then I don't have a problem with that.
I think something that's important, everybody understands, we finally got some structures to organization that we haven't had in the past. So this is a transition, and I think we're gonna have these issues, because before it was never defined how things were supposed to be handled, what the responsibilities were and all that stuff, now we do that stuff, so, to me, in my view, I think that would be a good balance, but again, that's what other people think as well, but I think it's,
I think it's fair.
I think it's a fair way to handle the whole thing, because, I think the problem was, there was stuff going in the past, and you was a part of that thing, and, just, there's past history, there was no structure, bridge to the council, a lot of things in the past.
And it's hard when you have, when you have a village and there's a lot of movement with officers, with chiefs and things like that. So it is difficult to kind of be on the same page when things change relatively quickly. So I'm okay with the situation, and I hope that we as, the police department and the council can work together, and myself and the mayor, and then hopefully me and Melissa can, not that this is causing any problems, but hopefully we can get back to where we were. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, what Brandon said, work together, I think that'd be the benefit for the city, a good officer, so.
we don't disagree one bit with that.
So anyway, I think, give her a fair
I just wanna
deal.
make sure she gets it back, it's hers, not mine.
Okay, you have anything else to say, Melissa?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
then else time to get out of the
I'm really disappointed in how everything was handled. And I'm upset at the fact that to have the hearing with Brandon, and then have the hearing with Gary, and then after that was supposed to come here. The hearing with Gary just didn't go how it should have been. And that is ultimately why this had happened, was because I didn't feel that things were followed the right way. So I'm just really disappointed and upset with how everything just came out.
But I still think, you have this off your record, and you can start with a clean slate here, and,
It is.
I mean, it was kind of all of our own fault, because with things we had done in the past, but, I think you should be happy with the way
But
it
too,
turned out.
Melissa, I gotta say, I thought when we talked for the 10 minutes or whatever have you, I thought you told me everything you had to tell me. I mean, you should have said, well, hey, I wanna talk to you longer or whatever, can I meet you or do something? I would've done that no hesitation whatsoever. But I thought you got out everything you wanted to say to me, and that's why I said.
No, the meeting wasn't that long, Gary. I came in and we chit-chatted for a few minutes, and then you handed me a paper that stated.
No, we had
that
talked
you
before
guys-
that when you told me you wanted to appeal to me
But
and give me
that
the letter.
wasn't part of the appeal. That was a conversation that was held prior to me knowing that we were going to have this appeal. So,
May I interrupt for a moment? I just want to field a question from the gallery. There's a saying amongst former defense counsel, learn when to be quiet, isn't there? Yeah. Well, there's a period of time.
I guess
If things
I
are
don't
going
wanna
good-
render too many opinions other than if you approach an insubordinate in position and you have found resolution to continue to find fault is probably bordering on insubordination. And I'm not taking any sides here, just saying that if a
But to
resolution has
continue
been
the-
found,
to continue to argue the issue when there's a potential resolution in front of you, is that wise?
I'm just stating how I feel.
And I'm just stating, there was evidently miscommunication between me and you, because when you brought the letter to me and you said, here, I want to appeal the decision, you told me everything about it, and that, I thought, and that was it. Okay. So, if you feel that I handled that bad, then I'm sorry. It was not meant by no means to do that. I thought you had everything out when you gave me that letter and we talked. If you didn't, then maybe, I wish you would've just said, hey, we have to talk longer, I gotta talk more to you. And it would've been no problem whatsoever. So, I'm sorry that you feel that way, and my apologies, and we'll let you make that decision, okay? Okay. Do you have anything else? Okay.
For what it's worth, and it may be worth nothing, my view is that Brandon made the decision and you appealed it to Gary. But once you got his decision, and from what Gary says, he thought that was the end of the discussion, you didn't like it. Now you're saying you didn't get enough of a discussion. To me, that doesn't make sense, but that's just me.
And it is Gary's decision tonight. This was your due process, just so it's clear. He's got people to ask advice from, but he's gonna make his own decision.
And then if she's not comfortable with that, from what I just read, she can appeal to the council.
I believe that this was the.
That's what she's appealing to council right now, too.
That's what I'm misunderstanding.
I think we'll see what Gary is deciding. Get things step by step.
But he already made a decision, didn't he?
Well,
I think I should think it's more. Okay, I guess, we'll have a little bit more discussion between us. Well, I mean, basically it is, but I mean, I, with the present of taking the motion and not putting it on the record, I don't, as long as Brandon didn't have a problem with it, otherwise if he did, then it'd have to stay the way it was. But if he says, if you say you don't have a problem with it, I'm good with it, and I will make the decision that she'll take the motion and it'll stay out of her records.
I'm okay with that.
Doesn't that kind of put him on the spot though, in front of everyone? I mean,
That's part of my job, I guess.
I think it's a good compromise in this situation, I understand the decision, but I think we have to understand that we went through a transition period with the police department, we're trying to get the scene restructured, put structure to it. So I think we're gonna have some hiccups, and then we just have to find a balance there, so we don't be punitive for everything. We'll make mistakes, we're gonna find a balance.
maybe part of my naivety is that I've not seen the other side of it. Joyce has been on council a long time, seeing that it's just been common practice for them to get any training, and then after the fact coming, I mean, I haven't seen it happen that way. It should happen the way it's written.
Because you were on council when all this
Yeah,
happened.
and that, you're exactly right, what you're saying.
Yeah, I was-
Because, when you got on it, Brandon was here, everything was, I mean, he
There were new
he runs a
rules.
good ship and everything, and and you gotta follow by him.
Right.
And Melissa was always right too, because of, we did approve a lot of stuff, maybe that we shouldn't have, but we did. And I guess what I'm saying is that we'll just have this done and over with, and now we're starting right fresh, and now we all know how things go. So that will be my decision then. Okay? Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything else under old business? We don't have a magistrate report, so we don't have that.
You guys are having one tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Are they?
Yeah.
We do.
Oh, you
And
do
we
have
will-
one?
There is
Yeah.
a ticket,
Yeah.
and so we will have court tomorrow.
Okay, so it'll be tomorrow at 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yes.
And- So, okay, my mistake. 6 o'clock back here. Okay, I read you the letter on the fire chief's resignation. I would like to appoint Michael Snell as our chief. And as he said, he gave a slate of officers and stuff. I think Mike will be a very good chief, and I think he's getting things put together right now that everybody's working in unity. And, I just want you guys' blessings that, I am able to do this, and that's what I wanna do, is appoint him as chief. And as he said, Craig Kay's up there, he's gonna be assistant chief. And I need to give you a list of the officers and stuff there.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Michael, wasn't it about 6 months ago you said you would never do that and your wife would be forced to do the chief job? Huh?
We had that discussion.
Oh, did you? Okay. But you're okay with it now, or you're not gonna get a divorce then,
No.
anytime soon? Maybe next year.
No, we had some talking, so
Okay.
we're good.
Okay. Okay, I need somebody to make the motion.
I'll make a motion to make a motion. Chief,
Okay.
department.
Second.
Scott,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Stan,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
He's going to, he's already taken care of.
Thanks.
Welcome to the chaos, right?
Oh, I'm in the same boat Brandon's in, trust me.
Well, you did this before, you were doing that when I
Yes.
started out
Yep,
here.
2003.
Yeah, we got somebody keeping in line now.
Yeah. I do have one other thing here,
Great. So now we're down to 11.
everybody got a copy of, the letter from Gibsonburg.
That's not.
They're asking for
Okay, go. I'll talk for you.
a donation with their, this is, I'll read it for people out there. As we all know, the events of September 11th, 2001 changed our world as we approach the 15th anniversary of the tragic day. The village of Gibsonburg, as well as many others, continue to be fully immersed in the process of creating a special memorial. The Public Safety Service Memorial that will serve to not only remember the events of September 11th, 2001, but to also honor those public safety service personnel, fire, law enforcement, and EMS, who gave and have given in order to make their community better places in which to live for everyone. The Public Safety Service Memorial is about honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice on September 11th, 2001, and honoring those who continue to face challenges head-on daily. The Public Safety Service Memorial is about remembering a tragic day in history and making sure that this day doesn't become relegated to textbooks or television. During the past few months, the question of why Gibsonburg has been asked a number of times. The answer to the question has really been quite simple. Why not Gibsonburg? Gibsonburg had a vision that was turned into a working plan, and that plan has been put into action. If you visit the site of the memorial in Williams Park, you will see concrete and steel. You will see that vision that has been made into a plan of action. More important than any question of why is that while the Public Safety Service Memorial will call Williams Park and Gibsonburg, Ohio home, the intent is to honor all of those for everywhere. We believe that we are creating something very meaningful and very special. We believe that we are creating something that we can all be proud of. As many of you know, the focal point of the Public Safety Service Memorial will be a 36-foot long, 7,000-pound section of that main antenna that was atop the north tower of the World Trade Center prior to the tragic events of September 11th. This artifact was retrieved from New York City on June 10th, 2015, and brought back to Gibsonburg on June 12th, 2015. The opening ceremony was held in Williams Park, and prior to this event, the artifact was escorted across Sandusky County in a procession that included law enforcement, fire, and EMS from every agency in our county. This procession along Route 20 was viewed by thousands as they traveled through Bellevue, Clyde, Fremont, Woodville, and finally to Gibsonburg. Along the way, you could see the pride and reverence that people had in what was happening before them. If you are a resident of Northwest Ohio, it would be safe to say that for the first time in a very long time, Northwest Ohio came together as one to remember and honor. As we look to the completion and official dedication of Public Safety Service Memorial on September 11th, we are inviting individuals, organizations, and businesses to join with us the completion of the historic project. To find out how to become involved, please contact the Village of Gibsonburg Administrative Offices, such and such number. All individuals, organizations, and businesses joining us by May 31st, 2016 will have their name engraved on plaques that will be permanently attached to the Public Safety Service Memorial. Together we are creating something special, something that we all can be proud of, something that will last for generations to honor and remember. Something physical that can teach our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren far more than any textbook or television show ever can. I don't know what they're probably wanting a donation, but
Did they specify?
they
how
didn't
much or
specify,
anything,
no, they didn't specify anything. And I think Stan's got wrote on here, Kevin's All Patriot Memorial. is up
I was
there.
on just a note to myself.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, where the
There's
old
one up
Firestone,
in-
yeah.
Yeah, that's up there, that's from September 11th too. But it would be kinda neat to have our name mentioned on the plaque too, it would be out there for everybody to see.
Do you know if we did anything with All Patriots to
No,
donation?
no, we did not do anything. This was the first time we was ever asked, so. I can call the Gibsonburg office tomorrow and see what they're asking for
Yeah,
and stuff and that. And see we got time, so I can bring it back to the next council meeting and let you guys see what you wanna do, okay?
Yeah, they may have different levels and money
Yeah.
for different kinds of
Sure.
plaques. That's how they did it up there.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to bring up on the new business?
Well, I just wanna follow up on this for Angela, you talked to us.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't-
well,
I
we
don't-
gotta do the ordinances here,
Yeah, so we do the ordinance
so we
first.
might as well do them. You wanna do, say, budget evaluation?
Yeah, I said, you're like asking us constantly to give Angela evaluation, and I did. I used the form that they asked me to, I put it all out, and I presented it to the council already for the review. And again, so basically, I recommend raise her salary $18,000 a year, and then I'll make a motion to bring that to the table.
Okay, well, we're gonna pass it in ordinance, I mean, just so everybody knows, you don't have to make a motion or nothing on that. Have to pass it in the ordinance. So does anybody have any questions for Scott about our evaluation? Okay.
So that's
Well,
the structure, so.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, she does a good job. Okay, so ordinance number 2016-02, an ordinance establishing an annual salary of $18,000 for Angela Michaels and declaring an emergency.
I do have one question, or
Okay.
maybe two. Is John her direct supervisor? I think she does a great job too, don't get me wrong. I just wanted to get the structure of everything. Or how does that work? Does she answer to council, or to John and then council, or how does that?
According to the structure, the council's supposed to get her review. And then
Yeah.
we get reviews, John and Brandon's review.
According to the handbook, it's council.
So that's how it's structured, and then you guys said the president council should do it, so that's what we did.
And from what I've seen, I think you do a great job also. I remember more than a couple months ago, I'd ask about roughly how many hours you put in. You said whatever it takes to get your work done. But do you have a ballpark, or do you fill out any type of a timesheet, like this week I put in
No, I
10
don't keep
hours
track of
or
my hours.
25 or what?
This past month was,
A lot?
yeah,
Yeah.
year end,
Oh, yeah.
W-2s, 1099s.
Yeah, and if, I mean, she puts in all the hours that she has to get her work done, I will say that, I mean.
Are you able to work at home at all? I mean,
Not this job, no.
no.
Oh, she does take calls from me,
I wasn't home.
though.
That's the only questions I had.
Okay, go ahead, Angela, with the,
I need a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll make a motion. Steve.
We'll go with Steve. Second. Joyce? Steve?
Yes.
Joyce? Scott?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Motion to declare an emergency?
I will.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce? Steve?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes,
Motion to adopt as presented by?
I'll do that.
Stan.
I caught one.
Second.
I will.
Stan?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Joyce? Yep. Scott?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
okay, the next one is ordinance 2016-03, an ordinance adopting the 2016 Ohio Basic Code by American Legal Publishers and declaring an emergency. Somebody wanna make them?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Was that you, Scott?
Yes.
Second.
Bill.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce? Steve?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Motion to declare an emergency?
Joyce?
I'll second.
Joyce? Steve?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Motion to adopt as presented by?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Scott?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Joyce? Bill?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
I do have one more thing just to mention, bring up. Reflection Ministries in the Salem Church would like to use the park for sunrise, Easter Sunday services. They're gonna put up a tent so that they have heat if it's cold and stuff like that, so, I just wanna bring it to your attention. We wanna give them our blessings and so forth, if it's okay with everybody.
How early is sunrise?
6:30.
6:30? They can have heaters out there.
The tents that they're gonna bring out, I guess, are like these big wedding
There you go.
wedding
Somewhere gonna
tents.
Oh.
move in.
Just went on my fancy, I said wedding, right? They're big wedding tents, so that, they can have heaters in them, in case the weather is cold.
But we
You
don't
can hear the speakers over them, but
No swimming?
We'll probably be
No swimming.
75 that morning,
There probably will be.
yeah.
You doing baptisms in
Yeah,
the quarry?
baptism.
No.
not yet, but I wasn't gonna broach that subject tonight. It seemed like a pretty
Be a
sore
little
subject.
chilly then, but I bet nobody knows, I got married out at the park at Sunrise. Not with Teresa, my former wife. Yeah,
I wouldn't get up that early even for that.
sunrise and. I was jogging, I was so nervous, I was jogging at like 4 AM.
Hey,
Yeah, we're done with quitting.
Yeah, boy. Bring it on.
Does anybody else have anything else to bring up for,
On the grant scan documents.
okay, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I didn't put them on.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second
Second
page.
page here, everybody participated.
So I guess what I'm doing, I mean, we've had all these issues with, everybody wants to get all this information, so I think, you know, Shane's correct, I think it's time we try to resolve this and get this thing computerized, so we can track this stuff. So I think we need to look at, or start investigating the cost of the OCR software, for we can actually scan the documents, and then we can actually, you know, rewrite them or whatever, and that kind of stuff, so we can scan all the documents we have, but we've got piles and piles of boxes everywhere. And every time we go look for something, it takes hours and hours and hours of resources from our associates, and that, we gotta change that, because we only got a couple people, so you can't have them just looking in boxes all the time. So we gotta start getting this thing resolved, because it's, you know, it's gonna be an issue, so, there's software out there, I've investigated a little bit, so I just need to have somebody try to figure out this what we're doing, just get a good scanner, it's got a good paper feeder, so you can pile it up and let it scan the stuff in, and set the software up, and, you know, setting files up, we need to start getting this up, at least so they can find data. So I just kinda wanna approach that to the council and say, how do you guys wanna approach this, and, you know, we need to start doing something, because there's all kinds of software out there, and, you know, it's just, you know,
Where do you start?
where do you start, you know, and what do we really need, and then how are we gonna do the file structure? So we're gonna have somebody come put together a file structure, and then we gotta have a backup system, so we can, once we scan it, we got some kind of way to back it up, so that, you know, that we have some kind of task, we don't lose all the data again, right? So we gotta have that, so we gotta, several components of this whole thing, but I think we need to somehow link it to our homepage or whatever, so that way, so we look for something, you can click on that, and go into the file system, and start, and do a sort, and then, from what I understand, it basically, once you scan it in there, then you can just like Word document, you can scan for words or whatever, and try to find what you're looking for. Maybe set it up by year, and then ordinances, or, you know, resolutions or whatever, you know, that would get.
Sure would be a lot easier.
Well, I think we gotta start, you know, we gotta get in at least the 21st century, right?
Yeah.
How far back is all your data? Up?
Well, since Village Town, I mean, we're gonna get all that stuff in there, I mean,
1886.
1886, so we gotta try to get all that stuff somehow before we can get to it, because all those decisions back there that were made back then, we still have to follow through with that stuff, so. we
Are
gotta
you part of our public records committee?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so.
that's why I'm bringing
Oh, that's
it
why
up.
we
What
wanna.
they do.
And just so we know we can't get rid of
No,
records
no.
without.
Right, I don't wanna get rid of the papers.
No, you don't wanna,
Oh, no.
no,
Yeah, no, scanning I'm all for, but
Yeah,
I just wanna
yeah,
make sure
yeah, I
we're
understand that.
getting rid of
because that's
those.
gonna make it a whole lot easier,
We'll-
where they
we'll-
can get
we
on
can
and
do
get
that
their
through
own
the
stuff.
proper way, but
Yeah, yeah, so basically, I mean, you're still gonna have a hard copy, but somehow I just wanna have some kind of a searchable database. So, because, I mean, what they did 20 years ago or 30 years ago, I mean, there's no way until you go back through the records, try to keep track of that stuff, because it's just like, well, how are you guys code, you got a lot of laws there, right? I mean, so you gotta kinda know how to
Mm.
find the information that you need, make sure it's relevant to what you're trying to resolve, and, you know, that's what we need to try to do. So
There's
that's,
50 files up there.
well, I mean, there's,
But, okay, I would like to have, will you go ahead and get the prices on that stuff?
I got some prices of it, but I gotta do a little more research. I've been kinda doing, just trying to figure out how you do it, because, you know,
Would you like me to talk to some other villages or even
Yeah.
towns and ask them what they're doing
Yeah,
and then
that's what
bring
we
that
need
to
do.
you?
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. I mean, I don't wanna reinvent the wheel. Let's
See what
figure
they're
out-
using and how they,
And maybe there's something the county has that,
Right.
so we can, that can kinda guide us, so it's more fluid, so that we
Mm.
can. I just think that, you know, everybody's struggling with this whole, dealing with all these, you know, everybody looking for all this information, that you have to go back and dig, because of the way that it was done in the past, and, I mean, when you look at all the boxes and stuff that we inherited as a council from previous administrations, it's just a lot of challenges.
It's hard to find anything,
Yeah.
but, yeah, and I'll be going to a regional planning meeting tomorrow night, our annual meeting, and the commissioners will be there, and that, I will ask Stacy and that at the commissioner's office and stuff, what they use and stuff and that.
Yeah.
And I know Mike Kirshner was probably, he was pretty up on that because he was like president of Fort Bank and that, so.
And I think the other thing we need to look at too is maybe even hire, I mean, you can hire somebody to do the scanning stuff, which is the easy part, but I think we need
but
somebody.
you gotta give them a format, like do it this way.
Right, and then we gotta have, so that's what I'm getting at, you need to have somebody who can structure something so that it's actually searchable, and that we can, so it's actually usable, you know, and I'm not that guy. You know, I can make robots run all over the place, but I can't spell cream, Mom. So,
Okay, so you'll do that and we'll do that.
yeah, I mean, the state finds out whatever, I think we should, I think we just need to start down that path, it's not gonna happen overnight.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a lot of work.
Talking server space and.
Yeah, I mean, it's depending on how complicated we wanna get it, but, I mean, we gotta make it so it's
Make
robust.
it easy.
And then you gotta have a backup system so that you can put data someplace and store it, so if you have a fire or something, you don't lose data, all those things, so maybe do with the cloud, but the cloud's okay for some ways, but you have issues with the cloud too, so we gotta figure out how we do this and make sure that we can salvage data somehow, you know, so-
The good thing is, very little, if any, of that's secure. I mean, it's public information.
Right.
So we don't have to worry about somebody hacking into it, because
Right.
it's nothing they can,
Yeah, right.
that they shouldn't have access to anyway.
So we just have to make sure that we set the file system so we can, once we put them in there, that they're read-only, so they can't change the data, because, you know, that's dangerous, you can have, is people go back there and manipulate the data if we don't, structure it and secure it. So there's some things that we'll have to do, so we can't do those things, but it's just stuff you gotta think about. Right, so I'll move forward with it, I just think, you know, we're there, we need to start resolving some of these issues.
Yeah, no, that's great.
You know, so.
And if you have a chance to ask them,
Yeah, I will, yeah.
that'd be helpful too.
Because I know the commissioners,
I'm serious, that's what
all
I'm
the things be doing that and stuff.
Lacey Pickman,
Yeah.
can't think of the name.
That was-
They go to, Cuyahoga,
Mhm.
and they bring their stuff and they put it on, they have people that scans it on,
Microfilm?
yep.
Betty Jane used to years ago, but
Yeah.
I don't even think they do that.
So but we want to do digital, so we want to digitize it, I don't want to film. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what we need to do, so,
Yeah.
so we can have searchable files and that kind of stuff, and then, so, we'll move forward, but like I said, we gotta keep the hard copies, but we also wanna have it so it's a searchable database and we can find stuff. So you can find out how much taxes somebody owes or whatever, you know, so.
Okay. Anybody got anything else to bring up? Mike?
Yeah, I forgot to say something. We have a attorney from Kentucky that sent us a letter. I guess they're doing something in the state of Ohio that they need all fire reports from, what is it, 2014, I don't remember the exact date, but for all structure fire reports sent to them, they're doing some kind of study or something. It's a state law or something, I give it to them, so. Do we charge for that at all, or? I mean, I go back to 2014's record, you know, I mean, like you were just saying,
Yeah,
you know, so I don't know if we charge them, we can, I'll get the letter for you, Rick, and let you read it. I guess you can see what it says
What's the
exactly.
copy charge?
You don't get that letter, Craig?
We have it.
10 cents.
10 cents a page.
yeah.
Okay, I'll have you look at that letter so you
It's a
know.
private company that's doing it?
Yeah, it's some attorney's office,
Yeah.
out of Louisville, Kentucky. But I'll have you look at
Yeah,
it,
and
Rick,
I
and
can't
see.
imagine there being personal information in that or anything, so,
Not on the fire reports, no.
yeah.
Um,
So, provided it's just 10 cents a page, who's collecting the money for that?
Well, that's why I didn't know how we.
Brian, or you can give it to Carolyn.
Yeah. I'll let you
You'll
get
get
the
a
letter and see
receipt
what
for
you,
it.
I guess Craig's getting the letter now, and we'll give it to.
Yeah, I'll stick around and
Yeah, that way
I'll
we kinda
I'll
see.
wait here after the meeting. and go
Okay.
through
So
it.
you know what it is.
Yeah. And then also I had the fire commissioners, I mean, it's up to you, Steve, you want to get rid of the fire committee, but I don't see, I'm gonna have someone representing
Somebody's
fire
gonna be
department,
here.
yes.
Okay.
Whether it be myself or my officers, one of us will be at every monthly
Okay.
meeting.
That's
So it's up to you
that's what we
guys,
want,
but I told Gary about it
yeah.
Sunday when I met with him, so it's up to you guys, but I don't see a need for it.
Well, as long as we have
Right.
interaction,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we want, so that way,
And for unseen problems, if somebody can't make it, Johnny will know
yeah, that's fine.
exactly what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying to get more
Or
cohesive,
Gary, either one.
working together here, better than we have in the past.
Yeah. And that's great, that's what we want, communication.
For
right?
just 2014.
From 2014 all the way up to now. I think-
14, 15,
I think so, yeah, if I read it right.
he's getting a letter now.
Yeah. That's a good grab up, I guess. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night.
Got it, Craig?
Hopefully you just give it to me.
Don't wait for me, just keep going. I'll multitask.
Okay. Anybody got anything else on their new business? reads that, and better walk, you went.
Good idea.
Gary, if we're waiting for something, can you tell me what the assistant chief's name, Craig?
Craig Case.
He's standing behind you.
Spelling.
K-A-Y-S.
And who were the others? There were a couple more. What are those?
Their
You've got a
captain was
list.
Mike Clace.
Okay, hang on. Okay.
I gave him, you,
He just skated on us.
I just put in this copy, the copy.
well, she gonna write it down for him, yeah. Okay.
Sure, the second page, Gary, that's more consultation.
Okay, there's.
I've got cell phone.
And next generation culture interest.
Call them.
That's his, I got mine.
I go give the names of copies.
Legit? Okay.
How much you think is it take? She's.
Oh, yeah.
Should be able to pull up on the computer, the Nippers report, just print it out. Hopefully.
That's extremely fast. That's fine.
Hopefully. We'll look into it, I guess.
Oh, my ceiling. Sent the check for $3,000.
Well, how are you doing, Joyce?
Yes, for 2013. Just changed it here.
Okay.
Your reputation precedes very
Okay, does anybody have anything else to bring up?
No.
If not, we'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Motion adjourned.
Yay!
Lot more pictures.
I got 5 minutes to watch NCIS.
That's